Did we decide on a title? We have How Do You Booktube, which is probably the simplest.
Right.
Sociology of Booktube.
Yeah.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Hey everybody, this is Margaret. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. You are on Booktube with me today, and I don't have to go backwards. I can actually do the direction that I think it is. Bethanne Sokolar, and we're here to make a tag, a collab tag. Bethanne, say hello.
Hi, so I am Bethanne Sokolar, and I have a YouTube channel using my name because I'm not very creative, doing the usual booktube thing. Well, yeah, but you're an author, so it makes a little more sense, whereas it's just like nobody would ever. Well, okay, scientists Google me, but hopefully my weird little booktube channel doesn't come up then, but I guess it does. But yeah, and I just do the usual booktube things. I read a lot of books and I like to talk about them. So come on over and hang out in my space too.
Excellent. And what are we going to be talking about today? What did we have as an idea that we wanted to get even deeper on?
Well, so today we are debuting an original tag that we've co-created. And the idea of this tag happened when I just sort of did a off-the-cuff chat on my channel, thinking about how my first 6 months of booktube had gone, and for part of that I sort of got into how I comment and how I view videos and sort of when and where I'm deciding to do those things, and just sort of that decision making about sort of the trade-offs of time and effort in building community here. And a lot of people were sort of interested in talking more about that. So we started brainstorming and came up with a tag about it.
Especially because it coincided with a lot of people doing the tag about tags from Scallydangling about the books. And so the meta-ness of the discussion was like really getting the community going. And we were both like, oh yes, let's do another angle of this because it's so interesting.
Yeah.
So let's get started with question number one, just to cover the bases in case the people who do this haven't done it elsewhere. If you haven't already explained in another tag, or you wish to expound upon that description, what made you start a booktube channel? Because this is going to have an effect on the rest of your answers. Bethanne.
Are you asking me? Oh.
Well, you probably went over this in the 6 month tag, which we'll link in the cards. But
I think I did. Yeah. So I guess super quick recap. I think like a lot of booktubers, I was sitting around in the pandemic thinking, oh, I'm reading more, and oh, I wish I had more people to talk about books with, and voila, booktube.
Nice.
That's how it happened. Yeah. What about you?
And then for me, I started the booktube channel that I have because I'm a booktuber, author-tuber. I'd say it's 75% booktube, 25% author-tube. And I was looking for a community that talked books, but also like a way to reach an audience, because my experience of being an indie published author meant that I was sort of stumbling this way and stumbling that way and like trying to connect with people, but in a way that was thoroughly unsatisfying. So I sort of logged the numbers, did some trial attempts and was like, oh, this is it. This is where we're headed. So that was my decision last summer.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So why don't you set us up for question 2?
Great. So question number 2, just thinking about who you subscribe to. So how do you decide to subscribe to a channel? So what sort of process do you go through? How many videos do you try? What sorts of videos do you try? And then how many channels are you subscribed to?
I don't know the number for my spreadsheet, and I looked on YouTube and I don't see a way to find that number. Do you know how to find how many channels you're subscribed to?
I look on, I think just like I think I have YouTube open, so give me 1 second. Yeah, I think when I just open on my homepage, and I've got my subscriptions list, and then it'll show me like, 7 or 8, and then it says show, in my case, 162 more. So I'm subscribed to about 170, I think.
Oh, okay. Use Zoom as well.
Yeah, gotcha.
Here is where you're talking about?
Yeah, so scroll down. And it's just playlists. Okay. Because in mine, when I make there it is, subscriptions, that section down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it says, yeah, show 366 more.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I rarely get to show people things on the internet, so that was amazing.
Helping hand. Like Allstate. There you go.
Great.
So am I supposed to answer this one first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. 2. So with Bethanne's help, I have located how many channels I'm subscribed to. It's 273, which is about the same as when I looked before, like several months ago, and it quoted about 300. So I guess I've scrubbed a few. That's interesting. And how do I decide to subscribe? The ways I get to new channels, so I don't search for the Booktube newbie tag, but I do look up when people recommend channels to me, when I am searching for something specific and a channel with that content pops up. When someone comments on my page, obviously, or during a live when I see people in the live chat. Like I just did a productivity sprint and there was someone who had a really funny voice in the chat, and so I was like looking up Max Reads, and like there he was. So yeah, new subscriber. So once I get those inputs, I usually visit their page, look at their about page, hope they have something there, because I feel like that's step one in trying to put up a storefront or put up a brand. And look at the videos page and look at thumbnails and titles. And then if there are enough that look like it's something that will jive with my watching habits, I'll subscribe. And if I'm not sure, I'll like put a few of the videos on my watch later list to test out. My shaky ground.
Yeah.
How about you? Is that totally alien?
No, that's about the same. Yeah, when I was first starting out, I did search the Booktube newbie tag a few times, more in sort of that looking for my cohort way. And I would say, I don't know, maybe once a month or so, I'll sort of do that just to see.
How did you know to do that? Because I didn't even know. Like I'd seen it and then, but yeah.
That's a great question. I don't know how I knew to do that. I don't know. Yeah.
I wouldn't have put it together that, the people are starting the same time as me would have the same like Booktube newbie time. That didn't occur to me until you did.
No, I was totally just like, I wonder if I can see what some other new channels are doing, that sort of thing. Yeah. So I think that's why I did that probably. But yeah, it's the same thing. It's who are other booktubers whose content I already like, who are they mentioning, and who are they in community with, and then I sort of follow those threads more often than not. And obviously, if somebody comments on my page, like you said as well, then I definitely want to go see who that is. And for deciding when to subscribe, once I've settled on somebody's page, I definitely look at the thumbnails and titles, because you can often get a good feel for what people are reading from those. They'll say fantasy review, historical fiction review, or they'll be listing authors or book titles. And sometimes it's just looking at that, I can be like, oh, this person reads all the same stuff I do, like instant subscribe or something.
Yeah.
And then I do usually want to watch, I do usually watch a video or two, usually right then. I don't really use the watch later feature, which is another interesting thing that I guess we can talk about in a later question. I haven't really used that. Usually if I'm watching Booktube, I let myself get distracted by like following a new person I might want to subscribe to and stuff. Yeah. And then I miss a lot of videos that I meant to watch. And then, 2 weeks later, somebody will mention like, oh, and so-and-so did a tag. And I'm like, man, I meant to watch that. And yeah. So I comment on videos that are old quite a bit, because that's when I get to them. But anyway, yeah, that's how I decide to subscribe.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, good question to follow on. Number three is unsubscribing. Do you unsubscribe from inactive channels? If so, how do you decide to unsubscribe?
Yeah. Okay, I can go first this time. I have not yet unsubscribed from inactive channels. And I think for a little while, a few months, I've sort of had it in my head of like, maybe I should have a ground rule of if you haven't posted new content in a year or something. And so I think I said that in my initial video chat. But I think I haven't done it yet. And then a couple people chimed in saying that they don't do that because sometimes people just need a break and then they come back, which is a good point. And then I remembered I was actually looking for recommendations for a very specific type of book. It was for trans romances, so where the key figure in the romance is trans. And I found a channel that had a video with like 5 book suggestions, and it was like a 4-year-old video, and the channel hadn't been active for the past 3 years. And I hit subscribe based on that one video, thinking if this person ever resurfaces, I want to know about it. And then actually this person did resurface. So I should just, I think her channel's name is Elizabeth, I think it's Elizabeth G. Reads.
Oh, nice. Happy ending. That's cool.
Yeah. I will double check that channel name so we can put it in the description or something. So yeah, so I think I'm revising my rule of thumb. So I think it would be more like if I just am not feeling a connection to a channel anymore, then I might unsubscribe, but I might not try to have a rule of thumb timeline.
Okay.
What about you?
You don't have a rule of thumb. That reminded me, you didn't say, can you tell us how many channels you're subscribed to?
Oh, sure. Okay, I'm 162.
So yeah, what would you call it? Ready access memory? Like my recent memory, short term. If I've subscribed to someone recently, and I remember that, and there's too many videos that are coming up in the recent feeds where I'm like, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. Like if it feels like there's too many strikes, and my recent memory retains that sort of strike count, then I go, I'll unsubscribe because I'm tired of seeing stuff that I don't want to watch, and I feel guilty about not watching.
Yeah.
But once it's removed from that, which is honestly like 2 weeks after I've subscribed, sometimes every once in a while, I'll look up a channel name and realize that I'm already subscribed to them. And that's what keys me into the fact that they haven't posted, because I forgot that I subscribed to them originally.
Yeah.
So the only other reason where I'd be like, okay, for longer than like 3 or 4 months, I'm kind of like, meh, I'll unsubscribe. But otherwise, I don't scrub. I don't go through early channels. So it's basically if something comes up recently that I'm not interested in too many times, or if I see that they haven't posted something in a long time and I don't think they're going to. So I guess, I don't know, I have a different feeling on that than you do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, and the scrub thing too is interesting because the whole trade-off is, what am I spending time on that I'm when I could be watching videos? You know, what's the time trade-off there? And I'm not going to take 15 minutes of my time once a month or every couple of months or something to go through my entire subscription list, click through, find out if it's been so it would be more like things would just sort of come to my awareness, a channel would get mentioned or something. But I do, because you can get that whole subscription list, and I think you have a more sophisticated way of keeping track of like who you're watching and commenting, and I would love to hear more about that maybe. I always just expand that list, and then I just kind of like scroll down and I'm just like, stop randomly, click on this person and see what they're up to.
Wow.
So I don't have a system.
This is like,
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay, so unsubscribe and how to decide. Yeah, so basically neither of us do spring cleaning, and we're totally cool with that because that's not the point of Booktube, and it doesn't count in any way.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So so that's good for when and where. Question number 4, when and where do you watch Booktube?
Yeah, let's let you go first this time.
Okay, so this is nerdy time, nerdy confessions. Because I'm not working full time, because I am a self-employed author and not employed otherwise, I wake up and I do my first 2.5 hours of watching Booktube and commenting on people's videos. So it's like 7 a.m. to 9:30 usually, depending on the crop of the day. And I think it comes in later, but I guess I'll say it here. My method is to not use the home page, but go to the subscriptions page where you see all the new stuff from all the people you're subscribed to, and go through and put them on the watch later list. Because there's going to be some that I don't want to watch. I want to be sure that I get through everyone that I want to watch, I
Hmm.
suppose. So I put that on the list. And then as soon as I get back to where I remember having watched before, or the little red line tells me I've watched before, I jump over to the watch later list. And I've got like 30 holds,
Hmm.
basically like long talks that I don't have time for watching yet, or reviews that I haven't read yet. So I'm saving so that I don't spoil, that sort of thing. So after about 25 or 30 of those starts like the new crop, and I'll watch the end of the list and um, like and delete from watch later as I watch
Yeah.
each one. So
That sounds satisfying.
yeah, it's like it's
Yeah.
automatic now. Yeah,
Yeah.
muscle memory.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, that actually, so I've been trying since I've been working from home to be more intentional about sort of starting my day, not just like jumping into email or things like that. And so I've mostly been like, I'll sit down and, read a book for 5 minutes or um, what are some of the other things I do? I might like color a little bit, just for like 5 minutes with my coffee. And actually a booktube video would be nice for that little slot of time. So I do like the sound of that. So I tend to watch booktube a lot more sporadically. So I am a scientist. I do a lot of pretty mindless data stuff in varying periods as it comes up in different projects. And so when I have a mindless data task, booktube is now my sort of entertainment of choice to be listening to while my hands are occupied on the keyboard. And then a lot when I'm doing household stuff. So those are kind of my two main times. And sometimes for relaxation, I did mention coloring already. So sometimes I'll take a break and like color during the workday while I watch booktube as just like a moving between projects palette cleanser.
So does that mean though that you're mostly listening instead of watching?
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I only catch snippets of people visually usually when I'm like jumping into comment, which is also like it's really awkward when you're doing booktube while you're washing dishes or something, because I'll often end up in like this panicked flurry of like, oh, I gotta comment before I forget, or like before the video ends and I get shunted somewhere else in YouTube. Yeah, I don't want to like
I'm gonna
destroy my
catch that
computer.
next time I see you comment.
Yeah, right. It's like, that's what she's doing is panic. Yeah.
Yeah, I often get that because I'll do it towards the end of the video and it'll sign off without like an outro, and I'll be like, wait.
Yeah.
When you're on the website, at least it'll let you go back and your comment will still be there even if it's unpublished. But
Hmm.
it won't do that if you are on like the phone app or whatever.
Yeah, no, definitely doesn't do that on my phone. Yeah. Well, and I think actually I started doing the like multiple comments thing because I saw you doing it after I was aware of your channel, and I was like, oh, I should just do that, because I would just put everything in one comment and then half the time I'd panic and almost lose it. So now I just comment as things come up.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
I must have been burned a long time ago because whenever I enter things into forms, I copy it and save it somewhere else in case it eats my form answer.
Yeah.
Like I don't trust.
Right. Right. It's
Yeah.
fair. Never trust the internet.
Oh, and where it's right here. Like
Mm.
my kitchen's right here. The view is right here.
Right.
It's not the best for filming, for lighting wise, but yeah. How
Mm.
about you?
Yeah, either at the desk in my office or actually here in the bedroom sometimes, because I will watch booktube while I fold laundry, which is when I actually watch, not just listen. And with a kid in the house, there's laundry like every 2 days, so I actually do a fair amount of booktube while I'm folding tiny little pants and things. So
Yeah, I recognize like the frame and the color on the wall. So yeah,
yeah.
it's cool.
All right.
You want to take the next one?
Sure. Number 5. So number 5 is, how do you respond to comments? Do you always respond right away or on a set schedule? Do you comment on every video you watch? So a little bit of a mix of responding to comments on your own channel versus how you interact with other.
Oh, I didn't even take that into account. Do you want to start on
Yeah,
that?
I just realized that as I was reading this. Yeah.
So I I set a high standard. I try to comment on every video that I watch. There are a few that I watch that either the topic or just like my mind is not connecting with the books that are being talked about, and so all they get is a like, and I speed through. But usually I will find something to respond to on every video I watch. So when and how often? Okay, so I said I'd do this every morning. So there's probably like 30 or so videos. No, not that many. Like 20 videos a day, and comment on those.
And you listen at like 2x speed, right? Sorry, listen. You listen and watch fast, is that right?
Yeah. I watch.
Yeah.
I do sometimes put headphones on because sometimes instead of sitting here, I'll do a bout of dishes and then I'll sit back down, or I'll like go get breakfast or make the cup of tea, and I'm like, those are precious minutes I could be getting, which is ridiculous. I know, but it's what life's come to. What can I say?
Yeah. The self-imposed pressure is real.
Yeah. So yeah, pressure. But responding to comments. Oh, so here's the actual rollout. I go to the homepage. I probably look at the notifications and respond to any of those first. So that's comments on my videos or response to other people's comments on their videos. So yeah, that's like the first order, and then the whole subscription page, and that is the second, and then watching. So that's like the rollout each morning. Yeah. There's sometimes squirrely stuff about notifications, about comments that don't make it through.
Yeah.
And so that's a little weird, and I don't know how to fix that or, incorporate that.
Yeah, I've had some really good comments that I see in email, because once I heard that that was an issue, I started, this is like really type A, I guess, but I actually now check the notifications in YouTube against the emails that I get in Gmail. And it's actually pretty frequent that comments are getting dropped. And they're often the best comments. And I'm like, come on.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and I should say frequent. In the couple of weeks that I've like known about this as an issue, I think I've had maybe like 4 get dropped, but all 4 of them were like super substantive, like multiple sentence comments from thoughtful people. Yeah. And I think for a couple of them, like 2 of them, I was already sort of connected with the booktuber on Instagram, and so I just followed up with a message there just saying like, I really appreciate your comment and responding. And then 2 of them, they were from channels that are quite a lot larger than mine, so I was like, I don't think they'll miss if I don't respond to this comment, even though it was a really nice comment. Maybe
that would have been a good one to respond to. That's so weird. When you say dropped, do you mean like they were deleted, or they put in your spam queue, or they were just not included as a notification?
They're just not included. They just don't show up anywhere on YouTube, but they came through in Gmail. And yeah, I can't imagine that the comment itself would have been deleted, because they were just like nice comments that couldn't have been like in a weird way or anything. So I don't know.
You checked your like comments held for moderation on your back end?
Nope, that's a thing.
Can I show you how to do that?
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
my God. Oh, hey, I've never clicked on that.
So latest comments is where you'll find some stuff, and then over here you get like the detail things, and it automatically filters for ones that you haven't responded to, which includes ones that you've like thumbed up or loved. That's not a response because it's not like words.
Right.
So there's a lot in there that I have like responded to as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, right.
But yeah, held for review.
Okay.
Removed after 6 minutes. That's where I would check if you're getting email notifications, but not like the.
Yeah. All right. I will check. I didn't know that. And so then, do you have the option of just saying like, let this through, or?
Yeah. It's just it's like the anti-spam stuff you used to have on blogs. It's just like and you have to check okay for it.
Well, I'm glad I know about that. Instead of just complaining about it, I will
return the favor. There we go.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's great. Cool.
Go ahead and take it away with the next one.
Yeah. Okay. So question number 6. Do you keep up with content as it comes out, or do you catch up on older content? And how do you filter through old content, if so? So you already touched on this a bit with your watch later list, but anything you'd like to add about that question?
I try to keep up as it flows by me, because otherwise it's like Lucy and Ethel on the chocolate factory floor. Set.
Just gone.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about Berna Vanna's Bookish Adventures, and who's the other gal I was wondering about in Finland? Oh, I might have unsubscribed because it was so long. She put up a thing about having 600 something in her watch later, and I was like, you're never getting up from under that. Just fly. Fly, you fools. That's my response to that. Like,
yes,
I don't, that overwhelms me, and so I can't
mm-hmm.
do that. I have to do it as it comes. How about you?
Yeah, no, I think that's why I've never even touched the watch later option, is because I know that it would end up that way for me, and then that would be very stressful. And the point of Booktube is to not be stressful. So,
Okay.
Yeah, so I definitely do try to watch things as it comes out. And for a while over this winter, I was doing a lot of those sort of mindless work tasks that I mentioned. And so I actually was keeping up fairly well, but now I'm subscribed to a lot more channels, and now I'm entering into more active work periods on projects where I need to use my brain 8 hours a day instead of interspersing it with other stuff. So yeah, so I'm sort of coming to terms with, I can't keep up with, 170 channels posting new content every couple of days. So for me, it's been more of when I look through like my subscription list, and I decide to click through on somebody, so I'll usually look at their most recent video, and then since I'm on that person's page, I'll usually also look at what are their other recent videos, sort of as far back as when the last time I was on their channel was, and just see if there are things that I definitely want to see, but applying a looser filter of like, I'm not going to watch everything, but like for some channels I do watch everything, but yeah, what are the things in the past couple of weeks that I might have missed? And so far I am pretty regularly hitting channels no more than like once every 2 weeks. And so then I might watch like 4 videos in a row and comment on them. And that's been like easier on my brain than the like clicking through a whole channel list every day.
Interesting. So you want same creator, bunch of videos is
Yeah.
for you than like the videos that are all going to be about the same subject because all the gang decided to do the same tag on the same day.
Right. Yeah.
That's what happens.
Well, and it refreshes the tag a little bit too, because it can get a bit exhausting even with a really good tag to watch 30 videos of it in the same 2-day span. And so if I'm watching some of them as they come out and then catching up on more later, it's trying to hit that balance between like, am I current enough with the conversation without overloading on it? Yeah.
One of the things you mentioned made me think about like putting the creator hat on. Like, you ever, well, I guess we're doing this a lot, switching back and forth, but when you see people uploading stuff like very often, ever like get on your nerves because you're like, I can't even watch the content that quickly. How can you make it that quickly?
I know. Yeah. No, I totally. Well, and then I'm like, where do you find the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel that. But then also, like, if a channel is uploading 5 or 7 times a week, even, I feel less bad about missing some of the videos, because on every channel, I shouldn't say every channel, there's probably 10 to 15 where I pretty much watch everything they make, sort of as it comes out. And then for everything else, yeah, if you're a channel that if I check in on you every 2 weeks, there's 14 new videos, sort of your fault that I'm not going to watch all of them.
Take heed, booktubers.
Yeah. I mean, more power to them. It's great.
Right. More to choose from. Right.
Yeah, no, exactly. And there's, and I'll pick the few that I want to watch, and I'm sure everybody else is doing that too. And they probably putting out that much content about all different stuff. It's like, oh, you probably are getting a lot of subscribers from like all kinds of different, genres and things like that. Something for everybody. So I think that's a great strategy.
So I'll ask you the last question, number 7.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you use your homepage feed to decide what to watch, or do you work down your list of channel subscriptions or some other method? Oh, we've already answered this throughout
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have started using my homepage feed a little bit more, actually. I think it's the bright and shiny phenomenon. Where it's like, ooh, I want that. But also I think YouTube maybe knows me a bit better now. And so instead of it just being like huge channels that I'm not as interested in. Like it's actually pushing people that I am already subscribed to, you know, in smaller channels and things. And so it's like, oh yes, of course, I will watch Courtney Farrader's video. That's what I was going to watch anyway. I might as well click here.
Right.
So I have been using my homepage feed a little bit more lately, which is a bit of a behavior change. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I find instead of like getting to know me better and making better recommendations, YouTube's homepage is like forcing the rabbit hole from a week ago back on me, and I'm like, no, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to watch more like Austin Land video clips. Like, no. So, yeah, I have to fight. That's why I try to avoid it, because it's like all the rabbit holes that I've spun into that I've just like, when I was in a bad mood and I was watching Mr. Darcy things or whatever. It's like, no, I don't need to do that now. I'm on business.
I mean, that's interesting. I guess that's a bit of a question about, you know, for booktubers, do you use YouTube pretty much just for booktube, or do you do other stuff? I mean, I'm a total weirdo. I don't use YouTube for like anything. So if I'm watching content on YouTube, it's booktube. That's it. Maybe that makes me weird. Like I don't really do the music video thing, or, you know.
Did you answer I don't remember what tag it was on. It was the other channels you watch besides BookTube.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that tag. I would just be like, none. We're good here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, I get my news on YouTube. I get my entertainment on YouTube. Like, yeah. They're a repository for a lot of things that I don't have in other places, like TV and whatnot. So. Did anything else come up? I mean, I was trying to get it out before I forgot it, but I didn't take any extra notes about.
No, I felt like I learned from your process, because I also didn't know about like the subscription page. So I would always just go down that sidebar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's other stuff on there I don't know how to use either. Like the Explore. Is that what it is? Yeah, I never use Explore because I'm like, I don't need someone else telling me to do more stuff. I don't know. I don't even know what the library is.
I don't know what that. Yeah, I don't know what.
It's just like I've made the ruts in my road. Like.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and occasionally I'll think of, you know, there's like other things I'll think of doing or something, and it's like someday later when I have time. But I'm good with my ruts for now. Anyway. Yeah. So that's the tag. So believe we want to tag some folks.
Yes.
You wrote them down, right?
I did. Okay. I don't know if I wanted to say some of them or not. So always doing, Kazen, we're going to be tagging you and Rosie Cockshut and Katya Weinert and Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. I think you'll have some fabulous answers and like spread the curiosity and love out through BookTube. So we're very curious to hear your responses to these subscriber how do you BookTube questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've got B-roll for the outro, so I think we're good. I'll stop the
recording. Cool. Okay.
I don't know. I'll put it here or somewhere.
So how do you describe to how do you, what did I just say? This is not an accurate test of my reading comprehension, I hope.